Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank you so much for stopping by today. The subject of my vlog today is 20 more questions and answers about expat life in the Philippines. Before I get started, let me welcome my new viewers and new subscribers. Thank you so much for your kindness, your generosity, and your support of my channel. It's truly been amazing. I'll never take that for granted. Last week I did 20 questions and answers about expat life in the Philippines. It was pretty popular. People said, hey, can you do that again? We learned a lot about the Philippines and about life as an expat in general over there. So I said, okay. I just went back in some of my old videos and looked in the comments and just got your questions. Some of them are basic, but some of them are kind of crazy. So let's get started. The first one, he said, what's the cost of a marijuana joint in the Philippines? Well, as you know, I don't drink or use drugs anymore. And I wouldn't suggest that you come over here and fool with drugs at all. But you did ask me the question, and I asked a couple of locals around here, and the cost of a joint is about 50 pesos, about 90 cents. So it's about 45 pesos for a joint here. So, you know, it's pretty cheap, but it's dangerous, man. You don't want to fool with drugs here, but I did want to answer your question. The next question is, number 2 is, what's the best exchange? Where can I get the best exchange rates for my money? At the bank. All right. Now, I know I always tell you to get it at the airport, but let me give you an example. This is just today. Okay. I went into Save More, and they have like a Western Union, like a customer service desk. You can exchange money, pick up Western Union, send Western Union. Well, their exchange rate was 50.25 pesos to the dollar. Now, the Forex exchange rate, which is the official rate, was 50.65. That's what you're going to get at the bank. So on $100, if you exchange 100 US dollars, you're going to lose 40 pesos, about 80 cents for every $100 that you exchange at the airport. So you ramp that up, you exchange 1,000. You're going to lose 400 pesos. That's $8. But as I said before, that's a very small amount for the safety, the convenience that you're going to get by going ahead and exchanging your money right there at the airport. You're not going to lose a lot, guys. You know, I get arguments all the time for it. But here it is right here in writing, and you can look it up. M Lawyer's the same thing, about 50.24. I went there today. Number 3, how much it costs to rent a car in the Philippines? Well, that's a good question. I had to look that up because I've never rented a car here. But on average, it can go anywhere from $27 a day up to about $45 a day. You can get that little small Hyundai Eon for a week. It's $211. But if I were you and I came to the Philippines, I wouldn't even rent a car. I'd rent a scooter, unless you got a family. If it's just you and your girlfriend, I'd rent a scooter, and now that's about $6 a day, and you can maneuver in and out the traffic. It's a little bit more dangerous, but still, it's going to save you a whole lot of money. I've never known anybody rent a car here, but that's a good question. Number 4 is, what do they mean by a liberated Filipino? Well, it's a couple of definitions. You know, I'm just going to tell you what I've heard and what's been explained to me. That's usually reserved for a Filipino that's been dealing with a foreigner before. They say she's liberated, meaning, you know, she's, you know, probably doing some different things that the normal Filipino wouldn't do. You know, she's not a virgin anymore, something like that. But usually they reserve that for Filipinos who are dealing with foreigners. So that's what a liberated Filipino is, if you ever hear that phrase over here. Number 5 is, what is something foreigners take for granted in the Philippines, but it's not true? That everybody speaks English here. Excuse me. It's a lot of things that we take for granted over here, but that's the biggest one as far as I'm concerned. Because everybody over here doesn't speak English. Remember, they're Filipinos. They don't have to speak English. Do a lot of people speak English here? Yeah, there's a lot of signage in English, yes, but you're going to go into places that people are not going to speak English. It's going to be up to you to try to find a place where there's enough people who speak English. Or it's going to be difficult, man. That's another one of the questions that's coming up. But yeah, you get a tricycle, man, to go somewhere, a jeepney, and even though some of them may be able to speak English, they're going to be embarrassed to do it because they think they can't do it well enough, which actually they can. Because my Bisaya is terrible, my Tagalog is terrible, my Locan is terrible. It's all terrible. So they don't have anything to be ashamed about. But yeah, that's one thing we take for granted when we get over here. You're going to go places, man, they're not going to speak any English at all. And you're going to be put in a funny situation there. Is there racism in the Philippines? Well, not the racism that I've faced in America. Discrimination, yes. Racism, no, because no matter what you look like over here, it's Filipinos have this all for one, this community, this sense of community, man. It's real over here. Now, discrimination, yeah. You know, they want the fair skin, they want a certain height, they want a certain age. When you look and see some of these job applications over here, it's cringy, man. It's gonna make you cringe, especially coming from America, where a lot of that stuff, you know, discrimination and stuff, man, that's been, you know, long gone. All those boxes and everything. But yeah, over here, racism, no. Nobody's getting killed over here for the color of their skin. Nobody's getting locked up over here. And you know, all the stuff that goes on over there. But discrimination, absolutely. Number 7 is, do I ever get bored? Absolutely, I get bored over here. But bored just means you're uninterested or you're not interested. And it's easy to find something to do over here. I don't get bored. I don't stay bored. Let me put it like that. I get bored, but I don't stay bored. All I got to do is get on my bike, man. I tell you something. That's a whole other adventure. Just getting on your bike. It's so much to do over here, so much to see. And I wouldn't pull your leg, and I wouldn't tell you that if it wasn't true. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't an exciting place to come to. Number 8 is what's the minimum wage in the Philippines? I really don't know, but I know what the minimum wage here is in San Carlos City. It's 280 pesos a day. Now that's for a legitimate job, everybody. You have to understand, most of the people that you're going to run into, they don't have legitimate jobs. They're like working under the table and at a lot of these stands and these little, you know, they're not real employees. They're not paying taxes or anything like that. And they make a whole lot less. Probably about 100, 150 pesos a day, something like that. But the official minimum wage in San Carlos City is 280 pesos a day. Number 9 is, do I have male Filipino friends? And I don't. Do I have male Filipino associates? Yes. But friends, no. Because really, guys, listen. I have very little in common with them. And they really don't have the time to hang out with me. I have all the time in the world over here. Most of the men, they're always at work, you know, hustling, you know, doing something to try to put food on the table for their families. They don't have time to hang out with me. And you're going to see how awkward it is. You're going to really, if you really want to know the cultural differences between a foreigner and a Filipino, hang out with a Filipino man. You're going to see it. See, the woman is going to be able to compromise and everything like that, but the man, you're going to see it, man. You don't have nothing in common with him, and more than likely you're going to step on his toes, he's going to step on yours, and you don't even mean to do it. Are there nice people over here? Absolutely. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't know of any of my friends that I've ever met in the 12 years I've been here that's ever had a Filipino that they hung out with on a day-to-day basis. Okay? And, you know, like I said, I've been in 3 relationships over here, and there's men in all the families. I've never hung out with them at all. Okay, now the young ones, yeah, they'll, you know, tag along, but no, I just don't do it. We don't have a lot in common. Number 10, should I buy a scooter or a motorcycle? Well, you know, motorcycles, you can get motorcycles over here. They're going to be very, very expensive. What I would probably suggest to you, if you really, you know, it depends on how big you are too. If you're real big, you're probably going to want a full-size motorcycle. But most people over here, they ride scooters. What they call them motorcycles. Anywhere from a 110, 125 cc. My girlfriend has a 150. They've got a 155. They got some a little bit more. And they'll range anywhere from $1,200 to like $3,000. I would say go with the scooter, unless you're just so big and, you know, that these scooters are going to be too small for you. But, yeah. Number 11 is, I don't know, this is one of the questions. Young Filipino or older Filipino? It really just depends on what you want. Now that I've gotten older, I'm 58, I've got to go with the older woman. I just don't have a whole lot in common. Yeah, they look good. Yeah, they look sexy and all of that. But, you know, at the end of the day, I want somebody I can talk to, somebody I can relate to, somebody who's been, has some nicks and cuts in life like me, and we kind of understand each other. So, yeah, for me, I'm going to go with the older. Number 12 is, what's the biggest mistake I see foreigners make over here? One of the biggest mistakes I see is budgeting their money. We come over here and everything looks like a deal, everything looks like a bargain, and it's not. Because what we're doing, we're doing that exchange rate in our head. I did a video on this, man, and that can be real costly. If you're going to be over here for 2 weeks, it's no big deal. But if you're going to live here, man, you got to start dealing in pesos, talking in pesos. I very seldom even say dollar anymore. But yeah, that's the biggest mistake I see. Among other things, you know, dabbling in businesses, you know, having more than one girlfriend. But budgeting money, a lot of guys get themselves in trouble. And they have to borrow money or something, you know, because most of us own some type of pension or some type of monthly passive income. So yeah, guys, you got to learn to get into the peso mindset. It takes a long time too. Number 13 is, what's the most difficult thing about living in the Philippines? I talked a little bit about it already. It's a language, man. It's a language. There's so many languages here. And even though quite a few people here speak English, a lot of times, man, they're not going to speak English. They're Filipinos, man. They speak Filipino languages. You can't expect them to speak English. You're going to be in a room full of people. Half of them can speak English, but they're going to be speaking their language, and can you blame them? See, but that's what it is. It is what it is, man. But to me, that's the hardest thing. And, you know, I came over here for good at 55. I came over here in the beginning, I was 45. Trying to learn a new language, it's difficult, man, if not impossible. You got to really, have just a definite purpose to learn the language to do it, man, you know. Otherwise, yeah, it's pretty difficult. It's a bunch of things, but, just keep this video to the point. I'm going to say the language, man. Number 14 is, what time does it get dark in the Philippines? Early. 6 o'clock, man. It's pitch black here. And that's all year round. I've never seen it deviate. Usually somewhere, around 5:30 it starts getting that shadow. But at 6, it's pitch black. And I'm in the house most of the time by then. But yeah, about 6. Number 15 is, what is something I must bring on my first trip that I probably am not even thinking about? Mosquito repellent. Everybody forgets that. Because a lot of you, when you come over for the first time, you're going to go to the beach. There's so many beautiful beaches here. You can't come to the Philippines and not go to the beach. You have to have that off repellent, especially at night. Because that's when the beaches really get jumping in these resort places like Panglao, Bahal, Boracay, Palawan, Malboal. When the music and the people start coming out, man, it's really a good time. And you don't want to sit there getting ate up, because that's where the mosquitoes are normally. They're around that water. And people always forget. You can easily buy it here, but the question was, something he's not even considering. I know you're going to be considering sunscreen, so that's no big deal. Number 16 is, are Filipinos as warm and welcoming as people say they are? Absolutely. It's a genuine hospitality here. I tell people all the time, it's nothing fake about it. I'm going to say 99% of the people that you see, when they smile at you and they wave at you, they're genuine. There's always going to be classy people everywhere, but here, you really are welcome here. And that's why I put the Philippines so high on my list of places that I've ever been. Because you're truly welcome here, man. You can't put a price on that, guys. I mean, I don't give a damn about the infrastructure and all that stuff, man. Am I welcome here? All right. That's really what counts to me. Number 17. Should we get married in the Philippines or my home country? Again, that's another decision. But since you're going to ask me, I'm going to say get married in your home country, because it gives the ladies some options. If you get married here, she can't get divorced. You can get divorced, but she can't. She's locked in unless you pay somehow. She gets money to pay for a very expensive what do you call it, honey? Annulment. And they're very expensive over here. It takes a long time. A friend of ours, I think it took him like 4.5 years. A lot of money over here. And a lot of things have to fall in place. So I got married in America that way. If something went wrong, which of course it has went wrong, we can easily get divorced, guys. And she can go on with her life and I can go on with mine. That's just the way I see it, okay? But it's just up to you. And then if you get married there, you can always come back and have a marriage ceremony. That's what a lot of people do. It's the marriage, they get married in the church. But, you've been married already. It's not really official. Okay? Number 18 is, what is the most remote place that you've ever visited? Not only is it the most remote place I've visited, but Lawigan is also the most beautiful place I've ever visited in the Philippines. It's just a province of Bislig City. It's in northern Mindanao. It's along a stretch of white sand beach. I mean, it's just so beautiful. It's untouched, really. I don't know now. Maybe the builders have come in and corrupted it, but at the time when I was there, 2009, 2010, it was untouched, man. It was about as remote as I've ever been, and unless I'm on that aircraft carrier somewhere out in the Mediterranean. But as far as on land, yeah, it's very remote. At that time, there was no cell phone signal, no television, nothing. I mean, if somebody were looking for me, and if I made it to the Philippines, you would never find me. There's some remote places here, man. I mean, really. They would never find me. One thing that I used to wonder when I was out there in the drug scene. I was like, these drug dealers got all this money. Why do they let the police catch them? With all these places that they could go. You give me $1 million, they would never find me. I'd come over here somewhere and I'd hide out and they'd never find me. But yeah, that's a very remote place, very beautiful. Northern Mindanao, period, is beautiful, man. You know, don't skip out on that Mindanao. It's a vast place, and I know a lot of, the State Department says, hey, don't go there. But yeah, there's some places you don't want to go, but it's one of my favorite places, Mindanao. Number 19, is the Philippines safe to visit in 2021? I always say this, guys. Look, it's safe for me. Because I don't know what you're into. I don't know what your lifestyle is. But if you're like me, if you live a simple lifestyle, you mind your own business, you don't gossip, you don't loan money, you don't borrow money, you stay in your own space, it's safe. It's as safe as any place I've ever been. But I never say that it's safe. I say it's safe for me. But absolutely, right now, it's safe. I've never had anything that resembles trouble here in the Philippines. Ever. In over 12 years now. And the last question, number 20. How can I avoid getting sick in the Philippines? I guess he's talking about from the food. Eat as little as possible out in the restaurants and fast food places. I encourage you to try the street food, but when you do, have them cook it well done. See, that's the reason why a lot of Filipinos suffer from worms here, like 50%, because it's uncooked. The meat's not cooked all the way. The lines be so long, they're not letting the meat cook. That's basically what it is, and you'll see it when you get over here. But if you just want to sit there and tell them, say, hey, like my Esau chicken intestines, I love them over here. I never even knew anything about chicken intestine. I've never been sick over here in the Philippines, other than cold symptoms from touching a doorknob or something like that. But I mean, as far as from the food, never. Because I always make them cook my food very well done on those grills. Because you're going to see the grills, they're different than the grills you're going to see at home most of the time. So there you have it, guys. Thank y'all for these questions. And as long as I can find 20 questions, I do it once a week if y'all really like it. Because remember, my channel's for the new guy and the new woman, man, has never been here before. It's not for you hard ankle guys, not for you experienced travelers. But I do have some secrets that I can share with y'all too. But thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. If you're in America, it's early. You're getting up. You're going to bed. You're going to work. You're going to the gym. Get a newspaper, maybe a cup of coffee, and you see somebody on the street, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a few dollars. If you're in the Philippines, like I said, it's already, what time is it? It's 7:15 p.m. It's jet black outside. There's nobody out there. So I hope you were able to help somebody before you came in today. I promise you, man. There's not a day goes by that I don't help somebody over here. We're getting our wall done, so we had to go and get some supplies, and we always go to the place, I think it's called YCT Hardware, and the ladies are so nice and so helpful. She's the same lady that when we did Donna's house, and I asked her, I said, hey, what you got planned for Christmas? And she just said, nothing, because the pandemic's been hard on me and my husband. They work, both of them work there. So I gave her 1,000 pesos, man, and tears came in our eyes, man. Those unexpected gifts, man, they're the best kind. There's not a day goes by I don't help somebody over here, because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free. I'll see you next time.